everybody. In this video, we will be learning about the comparison and logical operators in C#. So the agenda of my video will be understanding about the different types of operators that are comparison and logical operators. So let's get started. First, I'm going to talk about comparison operators. So the first comparison operator I'm going to talk about is the equality operator. So how you can use the equality operator is by the double equal sign. Let's try to understand the equality operator with an example. So here I'm declaring an integer first number and assigning that the value of 100. After that, I'm declaring another integer second number and assigning that the value of 50. So then I'm using an if statement to check if the first number is equal to the second number. So if first number double equal sign, that is the equality operator, second number, then console.writeLine, the first and second numbers are equal. So you may have noticed that this if statement doesn't have curly brackets. That is because if your if statement only consists of one line, like it is here, then you don't need to put a curly bracket for that. Okay, so next let's talk about the greater than operator. So we use the greater than operator to check if the left-hand side variable is greater than the right-hand side variable. So let's understand this with an example. So here I'm declaring an if statement to check if the first number is greater than the second number. So I'm saying if first number greater than operator second number, then console.writeLine, the first number is greater than the second number. Okay, now let's talk about the lesser than operator. So we use the lesser than operator to check if the left-hand side variable is lesser than right-hand side variable. So let's understand this also with an example. Here I'm declaring an if statement to check if the first number is lesser than the second number. And I'm saying if first number lesser than operator second number, then console.writeLine, the first number is lesser than the second number. Next, we're going to talk about the greater than or equal to operator. So we use the greater than or equal to operator to check if the left-hand side variable is greater than or equal to the right-hand side variable. So let's understand the greater than or equal to operator with an example. So here I'm declaring an if statement to check if the first number is greater than or equal to the second number. So I'm saying if first number greater than or equal to operator, second number, then console.writeLine, the first number is greater than or equal to the second number. Now let's talk about the less than or equal to operator. So we use the less than or equal to operator to check if the left-hand side variable is lesser than or equal to the right-hand side variable. So let's understand this with an example. So I'm saying if first number lesser than or equal to the second number, then console.writeLine, the first number is lesser than or equal to the second number. Now let's understand about the not equal to operator. So basically we can use not equal to operator with the exclamation mark and the equal to sign. Let's understand this with an example. So I'm saying if first number is not equal to the second number, then write on the console the first number is not equal to the second number. Now I hope you're clear about these operators, and let's see all these concepts in action in Visual Studio. So I'm going to fire up Visual Studio. So here I've fired up Visual Studio and I've created a console application. So what I'll do first is I'm going to show you an example of the equality operator. So here first I'm going to say int first number. I'm going to say is equal to 10. And another integer int second number. And this too is equal to 10. After that, I'm going to say if first number equal to second number. Then We don't need curly brackets again. So control that white line. I'm gonna say the first number is equal to the second number. And let's check what's the output of our program by running it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and run our program. So you can see that on the output, the output on the console is that the first number is equal to the second number. So I'm gonna close this. Now I'm gonna show you how you can use the greater than operator. So here, instead of the equality operator, I'm gonna put in the greater than operator. So instead of 10, I'm gonna just change its value. 5. So if we had not changed its value, then this if statement will return false and this console.write line won't execute. So instead of the first number on the console, instead of printing the first number is equal to the second number, I'm going to print the first number is greater than the second number. Okay, so let's check what's the output by running our program. So you can see that the output on the console is that the first number is greater than the second number. Now I'm going to show you how you can use the lesser than operator. So first I'll just close that off, and here instead of the greater than operator, I'm going to put in the lesser than operator. And instead of printing the first number is greater than the second number, I'm going to print the first number is lesser than the second number. So this if statement is going to return false because of course the first number is not lesser than the second number. So to prove that, I'm just going to put in an else statement. So else, I know brackets for this too, console.write line. I want to write the first number is not lesser than the second number. Okay, so now let's check out what's the output by running our program. So I'm just going to run my program. So you can see that the output on the console is that the first number is not lesser than the second number. So like I said, the if statement is going to be false. It's going to return false. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how you can use the greater than or equal to operator. What I'm going to do first is instead of this lesser than operator, I'm going to make this greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to operator. And instead of printing on the console that the first number is lesser than the second number, I'm going to print the first number is greater than or equal to the second number. Okay, now I'm going to change the same for else. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So now let's run our program. So Control plus F5. You can see that the output on the console is that the first number is greater than or equal to the second number. That is because the first number is greater than the second number. So it's 10 and the second number is 5. Now I'm going to show you how you can use the lesser than or equal to operator. So instead of the greater than operator, I'm going to change it greater than or equal to operator, I'm going to change this to lesser than or equal to. So instead of printing on the console, the first number is greater than or equal to the second number, I'm going to print the first number is lesser than or equal to the second number and even the else statement. Okay, now we're going to run our program. So you can see that the output on the console is that the first number is not lesser than or equal to the second number. Okay, so that is obviously because the first number's value is 10 and the second number's value is 5. Okay, now I'm going to show you how we can use the not equal to operator. So instead of this lesser than or equal to, I'm going to change this to not equal to. And I'm going to type in the first number is not equal to the second number. And even the else statement, the first number is not, the first number is. So the first number is equal to the second number. So let's check what the output by running out. So you can see that the output on the console is that the first number is not equal to the second number. Again, that's because that the value of the first number variable is 10 and the value of the second number variable is 5. So of course they are not equal. Okay, now let's continue on with logical operators. So like I already said, we're going to be talking about logical operators. So the first logical operator I'm going to talk about is the AND operator. So you can use the AND operator with a double AND sign. So let's try to understand the AND operator with an example. So this AND operator, whenever you're using it, minimum there should be 2 conditions. So like I was saying, let's understand it with an example. So here I'm checking if the first number is equal to 100 and the second number is 50. So, and if it is, then it'll write on the console that the first number is 100 and the second number is 50. Okay, so this if condition will only return true if all of these kind of statements, conditions are true. Like if the first number is 100 and the second number is 50. And if any one of these conditions are false, then the statement returns false. Okay, next let's talk about the OR operator. So how you can use the OR operator is with a double pipe sign. So we use, on a minimum, there should be 2 conditions. And if at least one of those conditions are true, then the if statement returns true, and if all of the conditions are false, only then it returns false. So let's understand this with an example. So here I'm typing in if the first number is 100 or the second number is greater than 100. Then console.python, the first number is 100 or the second number is greater than 100. So next let's talk about the NOT operator. So we can use the NOT operator with an exclamation mark. Let's understand this with an example. So what I'm doing first is I'm declaring a boolean is running and setting it to false. After that, I'm declaring an if statement and saying NOT is running. When you use the NOT operator, you invert the condition. So if you're using, if you're saying like, for example, inside an if statement, if first number, equality operator 100, if that condition is true, then it returns true. But when you're using the NOT operator, if it is true, then it'll return false. So now let's do the Visual Studio demo. So I'm just going to fire up Visual Studio. So here I fired up Visual Studio, and this is the project we created last time using comparison operators. Now I'm going to show you how you can use the AND operator. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make a change in this if statement. So I'm going to say if the first number is equal to 10, then, yeah, if the first number equals to 10 and the second number equal to 5, then I'm going to write on the console, the first number is 10 and the second number is 5. Okay, and I'm just going to copy this and paste it here. So in here, I'm going to say the first number is not 10 and the second number also is not 5. Okay, so now let's run our program and check what's the output. So I'm just going to run our program. Now you can see that on the console, it's displayed that the first number is 10 and the second number is 5. That's because this condition is true. The first number, this variable, is 10 and the second number variable is 5. Now I'm going to make this statement as false. So instead of 10, for the first number, I'm going to type in 7. So let's check what's the output by running our program. You can see that the output is the first number is not 10 and the second number is also not 5. That's because this condition is true. The else condition is true. Because the first number and the second number is correct. Our condition is fully not true because we used the AND operator, and when we use the AND operator, what I mean is that when we use the AND operator, all the conditions that we given should be true or else it will return false, like how it did for us. So this condition was not true and it executed this else condition. So now let's use the OR operator. So instead, and I'm going to change this to OR. So now let's check what's the output by running our program. So I'm just going to run my program. You can see that the output on the console is that the first number is 10 and the second number is 5. So that's because this condition got true. I have already said that when we use the OR operator, if at least one of the conditions are true, then it will return true. And if all the conditions are false, then only it's going to return false. Now let's try to make both these conditions as false. So instead of 5, I'm going to make this as 10. So 10. Now let's check what's the output by running our program. So I'm just going to run my program. You can see that the first number is, the output on the console is that the first number is not 10 and the second number is also not 5. So as you saw, both of these conditions were false, so it fully returned as false and executed this else condition. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how we can use the NOT operator. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to declare a boolean. Boolean, that is, I'll name this is running and set it to false. And now I'm going to make a change in this if statement. I'm going to remove this and type in not if not is running. Then console.log. Forgot to send this out here just a second. Yeah. I'm going to write on the console that not operator execute. And here in else, I'm gonna type not operator, not execute. Okay, let's check what's the output by running our program. So I'm just gonna run my program. So you can see that the output on the console is that not operator executed. So now instead of setting this to false, I'm gonna kind of set this to true, the boolean. So now let's check out what's the output by running our program. So I'm just gonna run my program. You can see that the output on the console is that not operator not executed. So again, the not operator is used to invert the condition, and now I hope you have understood about the comparison and logical operators. So that's it for this video guys. If you like this video, don't forget to like and share this video. Please subscribe to my channel for more. Goodbye till the next video.